Again, this next thing, a separate set of books for home. That again will depend on the school and the availability of another set of books. I would also recommend if the book has a CD option, which I think some books have now, if that would help lessen the weight instead of carrying an actual textbook. And finally, if your child is using a rolling backpack, which would really help with the weight part of it, I would recommend really just assessing how they look when they're rolling this backpack, because if the handles aren't too long and they're kind of having to reach back here, that's still placing an asymmetrical stress on their body. So you really want to make sure that the handles are long enough for them to comfortably walk with it just slightly behind them, and also look at the wheels to make sure that they're big enough to accommodate to the, having to move through different surfaces and preventing it from tipping and twisting a certain part of your body. And I believe this handout is available, but this handout is actually provided by the American Physical Therapy Association and can also be accessed on apta.org. But this is just a visual, and like I said, I think this is available for all of you. But looking at the two pictures, the picture on the left shows the one strap, and then the correct posture with both straps and the waist strap as well. The picture on the right showing the wrong posture, again, that's what I was talking about earlier about this forward head posture. And it could be he's doing that because that's his natural posture, or because the backpack is slightly too heavy and he really has to offset in order to stay standing. And so you'll notice that in the correct posture, he's standing nice and tall, and straps are tight, and he looks pretty straight. So, in conclusion, we've talked about all these things to protect the back and try to prevent pain as much as we can. But just, if your child does complain of neck or back pain, I would recommend, first observing their sitting and standing postures during the day. Try to see if the pain is associated with a certain time of the day, a certain activity, a certain movement. And if you feel like the backpacks are the culprit, try to use these guidelines and implement them and see if that helps the pain. And obviously, depending on the severity, whether or not there is trauma, or the type of pain that there is, you definitely want to consult your pediatrician and discuss with him or her what to do, and see maybe what the causes are, and probably you want to make a visit with them. And then if they determine that it's maybe a muscle thing, or maybe it's a postural thing, you might want to discuss, is physical therapy appropriate, so that we can kind of further assess, is it tight muscles, is it weak muscles, and work on those types of things. But I would really encourage you to just, when you see your child, just observe them and see how they look, and try to use these guidelines and consult your pediatrician as needed. Okay?
Good job. Thank you, Leah. If anybody hasn't received that handout, we certainly have more at the back, and encourage you to take those and also share those with others. I think it's really effective to be able to sort of translate that visual to your children as well as your own family. I certainly know it helped me do my own personal audit. Next, we're going to hear from Dr. Dana Weintraub, who's going to be speaking to us about movement and exercise. Dana is a clinical instructor in the Division of General Pediatrics at Packard Children's Hospital, and also a pediatrician at the Ravenswood Family Health Center in East Palo Alto. Dr. Weintraub received her degree in history from Dartmouth and her MD from the University of Massachusetts Medical School. She completed her internship, residency, and chief residency in pediatrics at Children's Hospital and Research Center in Oakland. Also, Dr. Weintraub completed a postdoctoral fellowship in general pediatrics at Stanford. She's project director of SPORT, which is a community-based evaluation of after-school sports teams as a weight control intervention for overweight children in East Palo Alto. She's also medical director of the Peninsula Family Advocacy Program, which is a collaboration with the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County to bring free legal aid services to families served by Packard and the affiliated clinics of Ravenswood Family Health Center. She serves on the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Peninsula Program Committee. And most importantly, Dr. Weintraub has a 4-year-old son at Bing Nursery School and a 6-year-old daughter in 1st grade at Oak Knoll Elementary. So let's welcome Dr. Dana Weintraub.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here as a speaker, but also as a parent. I've learned a ton already. Thank you. So I'm here to talk about physical activity as we get our kids back to school and trying to keep them active. To start off, I just want to review what the recommendations are. So children and adolescents should be participating in at least 60 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity most days of the week, and preferably daily. And moderate intensity physical activity can range from a brisk walk to jump roping to playing tag at recess, sports after school. So that's very varied. So I just wanted to start off by looking at where we're going to get this 60 minutes, roughly 60 minutes from. It doesn't all need to be 60 minutes together, but spread out throughout the day. So most of the day for our children is going to be spent at school. So how much physical activity are they getting during school? There are requirements in California that say from grades 1 through 6, our children should be getting 200 minutes per 10 days of physical activity, which would be an average of 20 minutes per day. And in grades 7 to 12, 400 minutes every 10 days, or an average of 40 minutes per day. Now, these are the goals, and even if we were meeting these goals, they're still not getting the physical activity that they need during the school day, although they might also be being active during recess periods. These requirements do not take into account recess. Recess will not count for fulfilling these requirements. But in addition, I can't say most schools, but many schools are unable to fulfill these requirements because of the competing academic requirements that the school has. So it's worthwhile to find out how much physical activity your child's getting in their school day, and then work on trying to incorporate physical activity outside of the school day as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. So just to overall look at what physical activity looks like in California, these statistics are from the year of 2007, and we're looking at the percentage of students that are meeting all 6 of the fitness standards, which include body composition, aerobic ability, as well as strength in different areas. And so throughout California, on average, it's less than a third of kids are meeting our physical activity fitness standards. And Santa Clara and San Mateo County are slightly higher, but still not what our goal is we would like to see. So when I thought about tips, I always think about getting tips from the experts. I see one's about to leave, but it looks like we have a couple of experts in the audience, one back there and a couple there. I don't know. I think the expert that we have right there, I was just going to ask, do you like to play sports? Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me what you like about playing sports?
I don't really like contact sports because I tried wrestling and I more for the cheerleading than actually
Excellent answer.
And so I play pretty much all sports except for cricket.
Excellent. Can you tell me what is it about sports that you like?
I like, being all sweaty and being able to crash on my bed and read for like 2 hours.
So it feels good to have worked really hard and then come home and relax. Thank you. That's a great answer. Anyone else want to comment back there? Do you want to say what you like about sports?
Jumping, and I also like I also like the fun, but mostly I like the running because I like running, and I like tag a lot because it has lots of running, so I just love running.
Thank you very much. Excellent answers.